Wonderful. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And tonight we're going on with session 2. That's all about passion. Now, it's important to understand that in the first session we talked about identity, because these two link up with each other. Many people have got a very idealistic idea of passion. It's like, I'm a passionate person, or I've got this passion, and I mean, it's not in essence wrong, but we've got let's say, only a very positive feeling about passion. Well, passion is a bit more, not say complicated, but passion is the energy of identity. It's very important. Passion is the energy of identity. I work a lot with people and also young people, and it strikes me many times that there is not so much passion always with people. Although we like the concept, I do what I'm passionate about, I live according to my passion, and all these sort of, this is my dream and I'm passionate about this. That sounds very good and there's no problem with it. I lack in experience or in the practical life that passion. And the reason why we lack that passion is the energy out of identity. So if you do not have real clarity about your own identity, you will automatically will have not so much passion about what you are or who you are and what you want to live for. So it's important that we see that the one is an outflow of the other one. When I've got a book, it's also on the internet, the Formula of Success. It's a book that you can find on the website moneywisegame.com. It's for free there, the Formula of Success. Now, in that book, I've stated that success has got two pillars. The first pillar is a point, and the second pillar is a process. The first pillar, the point, is the point of who are you. You must be able to clarify for yourself and have clarity about who am I. What is my identity in the spirit, my identity in the soul, my identity in my body, my identity in my creation purpose, what I'm living for, what's my gifts, what's my talents, and all these things. So I need to know myself. What is sticking in my own heart, of what I'm passionate about. The moment you understand yourself, you will experience some passion about what is in you, because you were created with that identity. So we've said there's two pillars of success. The number one is the identity. The second one is a process. It's a point plus a process. You've got, say, maybe 20 years in front of you where you need to live that identity. You need to manifest that identity. And that 20 years or 30 years, 40 years, after which you sort of discovered yourself, where you maybe go out of school or whatever, is the process. I call it the school of life. You've got the opportunity now in the school of life to manifest who you are, because your identity is only potential in you. You still need to get to know your identity. You still need to get an understanding of it. You need to exercise it until it's skill, and then you can produce something with it. And on this road called the school of life, you have lots of disappointment in life. I've written it down here. There's lots of troubles, problems, resistance, and disappointments on this school of life. And you need this passion to complete that process called the school of life. So the word passion in Greek means the ability to go through suffering. That is what the word passion actually means. It means the ability to be in this process of life that doesn't always work with you, that throw some curveballs at you, that's lots of disappointment, things just didn't work out. I mean, I don't need to tell you, but often we find people experience that things are not really working out. And you need passion to go through all of that till the point where you manifest what you believe you came for. You came maybe to write a book or to build a ministry or to build a business or to create some new product and everything. There's lots of resistance in the school of life until that point where that thing fully manifests itself. And although the manifestation of that thing is the passion that is in you, because passion is energy, it is emotion. It is enough emotion and energy to produce it, coming out of the clarity of what I know I'm here for to do. So in that school of life, we say there's lots of resistance and disappointment, and I need lots of energy and passion to handle the suffering on that road. Because if the school of life was so simple and so easy, everyone would live in an enormous lot of success. But when I look outside, I see that people do not live in an enormous lot of success. I just read this week, just for interesting sake, that the first 50% of people in South Africa lives within the 1,000 to 1,200 bracket monthly. The first 50%. The second 40% live with approximately 6,800 to 7,200 rand a month. That's the second portion of people, that's 40%. We now are already at 90%. The last 10% on average people live on 65,000 a month, but let's understand it, that is the average, 65,000, of which the top 1% lives with 215,000 rand. It's also interesting to note that we have a tax basis on the 10% of the top people plus about 4% of the people in the second bracket that earns just more. 7,000 is, as we said, round about the average, but there are people that earn maybe say 8,000, 10,000 that pays a tax at the moment. So there's 4% people in that second bracket that also pays tax. So what I want to say is that there's not a lot of people that live within a lot of success in this world. But people do have identity. And with the identity, people do have passion. But I do not see that people live with that passion because people do not know their identity. We've said that all the problems in life is coming out of a lack of identity, wrong identity, or no identity. And indeed, that is very important. You need to find yourself. You need to find clarity about who are you in this life. Now, lots of people tell me, but I do not know who I am. I do not know what I must do on earth. I can say in this regard that it is also important to understand that you maybe do not start out with a clear understanding of your identity and your passion profile. But the first thing in life is to start to live passionately. Even though you can't define the thing very specifically, you need to start to live whatever you do passionately. Because the only way to find the specific passion in your life is to start to experience or to live life very passionately. To do everything passionately, from washing dishes to going to work or talking to people. Become passionate about life and live passionately. And in the process, you will start to find some things that triggers you or something that makes you very excited. Although passion is much more than excitement, that's also important. Lots of people are excited about something, but it does not last necessarily. You see, you need something more than just excitement. You need passion. In my book, The Formula of Success, I also talk about having grit. Now, grit is not the same as passion, but grit has got a lot to do with passion. Grit is in only one word. It's got to do with endurance, to stay on the road, to go on, despite whatever happened, not to live life as an experiment, but to tell yourself, listen, I came for this, I'm going to live it. So coming back to that example of mine, that the two pillars of success is a point and a process. The point is finding your identity. The process is living the next 20, 40 years in the school of life. You see, you need to live with grit. You need to understand that you need to become persistent in life. You need to hear me clearly. You need to stop living life as an experiment. Life is not an experiment. You know, I always tell people, you know, I've asked people, what is your next step, your financial next step? They say, you know, we'll see. You know, I think maybe we will buy a house and we will look into this whole thing in buying a house and we will see what's the bank is saying and you know, if we qualify for this and, you know, this. They say, no, you will never buy a house. I tell them, listen, buying a house is the next step in your financial plan. It's not an experiment. It is not a maybe. It is not something we're going to see if it's happened. It is, if it's the next step, it is the next step that will happen. Stop living life as an experiment. Stop living life as something that we'll see what the government's going to do, you know, and ask people, what you're going to do next year? Well, we'll see what next year brings for us. No, let me tell you, if you live for next year and what next year will bring to you, I tell you, you will have a recession in your life. Because next year is a year of recession in terms of the government and the economy. But if I decide that next year is a year of progress, according to my plan, it's a year of progress, it's a year of going forward, it's a year of buying a house, it's a year of becoming rich, you will not have a recession because you've decided what will happen next year in your life. You are the captain of your ship. You are the one that's determining what's going to happen next year. Yes, most probably we are already in a recession that will most probably go on into next year till at least June. You know, that's in the economy outside. But listen, the economy outside is not necessarily your economy. It has an effect upon you. But you decide what will your economy be. You've got a plan that's according to your identity. And that plan is not a maybe or a we'll see or whatever. It's gonna happen. Next year, we're gonna buy a house. I don't mind if it's recession or not recession or whatever. We're gonna buy the house. I mean, every time I bought a house, there was very rare times when the bank approved me because I never had a salary. So they always tell me, we can't approve you. Then I tell them, sorry, you're gonna approve me because it's on my plan to buy a house. And I just start to argue with them and say, listen, you cannot lend money to any person better than me because I've got a track record that's very good. It sometimes took me 8 months to get my bond without my salary slip, but I got my bonds. I just find out ways to get it. I say, listen, it's on my list to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house. You just need to decide if you're going to be part of the success story or not, because I'm going to buy a house. It's not an option. It's not a maybe. It's not we're going to see what's happened. I know I'm going to buy a house. I have a command to buy a house. It is part of my plan, my creative purpose, the identity I'm living is to have a certain amount of houses, and next year is time to buy another one. I've got a green light. We're going to do it. And you just need to decide if you're going to be part of this. I'm not living in an experiment. I'm not trying to see if things are going to work out. It's not trying to see if it's going to work out. It's going to work out good because I am doomed to success. I'm not a failure. I'm not trying to look for success on earth. I came as a successful person. My best day of success was my day of birth. I was birthed as success. I'm not trying to achieve anything on earth. I'm just living the success that's in me. And you as a bank has the opportunity to decide if you want to be part of my success story. I'm not pleading you for a bond. I'm telling you this is the success story, and I can show you that the other stuff I've bought, you know, it's working well and everything. And because if you live life as an experiment, it's not going to happen. But if you live life as something that's for sure out of you, because we live from the inside to the outside, we live from identity into this world. We don't live from the economy on the outside to the inside. You will never get financially free by that way, because they're going to always have some problems, you know, in the economy on the outside, why you don't need to become rich, because they don't get, the system don't get money out of the out of the wealth created. They make their money out of the poor people. And you must decide for yourself if you are a poor person or not a poor person. I am not a disadvantaged person. I am not a poor person. I'm not a person that must be looked after by the government. I can create life. The creation of life lies in me. I am like my creator. I create whatever I want on the outside. I speak it. I can call it. I can live it. I can create it. It is not a try. It is for sure. Everything, I remember, me and my wife, we put together a property investment program when I was 36. And we said to each other, we've got 10 years for this thing. There's no experiment time here. If we do not make it, we are in big trouble. We must become financially free within 10 years. We must solve this whole problem in our lives in terms of our children going to university and expenses rising and everything. And we said to ourselves, this is going to happen within 10 years. Finished. And we started out as a finished plan. Whatever happened, we just live out of the passion that's in ourselves. And guess what? 12 years later, it was completed. Well, you can say, why not 10 years? Remember, it was my part-time thing to do. It was not my job or my career. It was part-time. I became financially free part-time. It was an extra thing in my life. My life is all about ministry and training people basically for free. So I had to do a part-time thing in terms of property investment to become financially free with nothing, with no salary. No, the point is, people say it's impossible. Well, anything is impossible. You think it's impossible. But I said to myself, it is possible because God will not give you a command that is impossible. If God tells you to do something, it is possible because He is the capacity and He gave you the capacity. And although it's against everything that may be on the outside, it doesn't coordinate and everything on the outside, it is still the main thing that's going to happen because whatever God commands is already in you. And we're battling with the whole thing that we are not passionate because we do not know God's voice concerning us, concerning who am I. You see, your passion has got, the content of your passion is three things. It's all about what, how, and why. What, how, and why. Let me find it here in my notes. The what is, what must I do? The first thing in identity is who am I? And this who determines the rest. How must I do it? Now, this is what. Is it through bonds? Is it through building? Is it with people, without people? You know, is it in trust? Is it in companies? There's a lot of how in it. I mean, I'm focusing on a certain type of property that's giving me a lot of success. But other people think it is stupid to buy properties like that. But for me, it is the main type of property. That's the property I'm looking because that's my how. I'm looking for that type of property that other people say that is stupid. But for me, it is the property that becomes the money machine. And not all people like that type of property. Big properties with lots of flats on it and a house and all these things and empty stands and corner properties, lots of entrances and so forth. Yes, it's got its own problems also. But the point is that you must decide what you must do and how you must do it. And then you must also decide for yourself, why are you doing it? Because this what and how and why is the content of your passion. All three of them are very important. What, how, and why, especially the third one. Why are you doing what you're doing? For what are you doing it? What is your motivation behind it? My motivation was I started out a property profile to become financially free, to generate passive income, so that this profile can pay all my expenses within 10 years, and it happened to be in 12 years. So that was the why. It's a strong why, and the stronger the why is, the better you will achieve it, the quicker you will achieve it, and the further you will go in life. Because the why must be very strong. It was all about financing my children to take all 6 of them through studies and pay for them. Meaning in the meantime, I'm doing ministry and training with basically no income in it. But I need something that pays all my expenses. And that's what happened. I had a strong why. And I say to myself, when my children are finished, I can retire. I don't believe actually in retirement, but you can retire. You actually retire as a wealth creator. You retire when you are financially free. You actually retire, not in doing nothing, but everything is now paid. Now you can run wild because your vehicle is there. Everything. We always say money-wise, your chicken is there. You must get yourself chickens that lays eggs. You eat all the eggs, you can eat all the eggs every month, but you never eat your chicken. You look after your chicken because your chicken is producing eggs and you're living on the eggs. In my case, my chickens is the properties. I look after them. I paint them. People say, man, we can't believe this is rental properties. It's such in a good condition. I say, but my chickens must be in a good condition, because when you have a good condition property, you get good people. And I don't want to have fights with people. I want to get good people. So if you want good people, you need to give them good properties. So you need to look after your properties. You need to maintain them. Life is not always easy. You need to do all these things. But in all this whole process, you need that passion. Remember what we said, passion is the energy that you have, the ability to go through suffering. The suffering that comes along your way in the school of life, in living what you believe you must live. So, passion is the energy that's flowing out of the clarity that you have concerning your identity. Passion is an outflow of identity. Passion is an energy flowing out of your identity. So if you are finding that you are not a very passionate person, you need to make a study and get clarity upon who you are. Remember I said, listen to that course of mine, identity-wise. You need to sort out yourself. You need to tell me in one sentence who you are. What? For what are you here on earth? Who are you? You're here for this, and you need in one sentence to clarify your whole identity and purpose, why you are here in life. It must not be for you something vague in life. That is what it is all about. And if we can do that, we can start to live that life. So passion is that persuasion and determination and motivation and aggression that I live life with. And as I said, it hinders me that I find that people, although they can't even define their passion, they do not live passionately. You need to start to live passionately about life and become passionate about yourself. Because you are not just a lost sinner in this earth. You are somebody. You came as somebody. Yes, the world wants to tell you you're one of the numbers here on earth and whatever. That's nonsense. There's no number to any person. No person has the same fingerprint or makeup or talent profile or anything. We are all unique. But if you do not even believe in yourself, whoever will ever believe in yourself, if you cannot become passionate about yourself and what is in you, no other person will become passionate about it. I have found with wealth creators, as I've said last time, wealth creators are they have got clarity about who they are, and they are extremely positive about who they are. They don't believe they are better than other people. They never believe they're better than anyone else. They just believe that they are someone in life. And they can live that someone, and they must live that someone, and they were sent to be that someone on earth, and every person is someone on earth, and every person must live it. You are not delivered out to the government and to the economy and the circumstances. You are the king on earth. You are God's ambassador on earth. You are not a number. But if you don't know what does it mean to be a king on earth, to rule in earth and to be an ambassador to other people for the kingdom of God, you will just wander around and just looking for a job and just try to find something and to stay alive. And we're not here to stay alive. The name of the game on earth is not life, it's not survival, it's life and abundance. I repeat it, the name of the game is not survival. It's not to have another meal for the rest of the day. Yes, we must have a meal. It's your birthright to have a meal. But let's be honest about it. It's not the responsibility of the government to bring you the meal. It's your own responsibility. The government is not going to do it. They're going to give you a grant of 350 rand that will not even pay maybe for 2 days or 3 days. And I'm not here talking about, but grants is not going to bring you. Forget about grants. You are already financed in your identity. You are already financed in your creative purpose. God will not send you with a creative purpose with no provision. The point is we don't believe it. And because you don't believe it, it doesn't come to you. It will never come to you because you don't believe it. You are too negative about yourself. You disqualify yourself right from the start. In just your own thinking about yourself, I'm not going to make it. I do not have it to make it. And I've got a history that's too bad and this and this. That's nonsense. You were qualified at birth. Nothing that happened after birth can disqualify you because you were qualified at birth by God himself. The proof of approval on your life was at birth. The fact that you are still here and hearing me tonight means that God is keeping you alive to live the purpose that's in you, to live the passion, to live the identity. And that thing is financed. But you need to find the finance. You need to build the channel through which the finance can come to you. And that channel is your own thinking about yourself. That channel is stirring up the passion that is in you to start to get up in the morning and be passionate about life. And to look at things and say, listen, man, this is a wonderful day. We're going to live the Lord. Yeah, but you see problems all the way in the day. So what? Let the problems come. Problems are part of the school of life. It's times of promotion. That's what the problem is called. It's a problem to see if your potential has become capacity. And if it's not capacity, you will not be able to solve the problem. But if it's capacity, your potential, you will see that you will be able to solve the problem and you will get promotion from God. And he will put you on a higher level and he will give you more and he will entrust you with more. Don't run away from the problem. Look the problem in the eye and tell yourself, listen, I'm here to handle these problems. The essence of your creative purpose on earth is to solve some problem, at least on earth, to make life better for people, to give people some quality of life on earth. That is who you are. You don't need to become it. You are it. You don't need to become your identity. You are your identity. You don't need to find the finance. You are financed by God. The problem is you need to start to move. Yeah, but I first need the money. No, you first need to move. The Red Sea didn't open when they started to move. The Red Sea opened when their foot touched the water. You need to start to walk and step out in faith. That in what you know now about yourself. Yes, maybe you know only 10 or 10% of who you are. Well, just step out on it and start to walk. Just make up your mind that, listen, I'm here to live a life where I need to change lives. So if you want to change lives, you need to have something in your hands. You need to have some provision. So get provision. Get a job. Get something that makes money. Start to think about ideas and possibilities. How you can make more money. Because we don't invest with money, we invest with our mind. I built up an investment portfolio with no money. Because I realized that you can become rich without money. I don't need money to make money. I can create money. That is what it is all about. I am a creator, and a creator creates everything that he needs. He don't borrow it in the first place, maybe from people, or he doesn't, I need your money, so I steal it from you or anything. I can create. I am a wealth creator. I can create it. And when the moment you realize that you are a creator and you can create things, you can create anything out of nothing. Because the nothing on the outside, but it is already on the inside. The thing is already in you. Your creative purpose is in you. The money for it is in you. The plans for it is in you. The energy for it is in you. The words for it is in you. The how you're going to do it is in you. The motivation for it is in you. So you need to re-look at who you are. and start to draw out of the well of who you are. And if you draw out of that well inside of you and you produce something on the outside, and the moment you produce it on the outside from the inside, that is life. I'm not in a survival. I'm living with a provision that's in the inside that's at least covering everything that I need for my life. The government is there to give us an infrastructure. The government cannot make you rich and cannot make you a success. And hear me clearly, they don't intend in doing that because it's impossible for them to do that. They're even battling themselves to live that life. The point is that your Creator has already put a mandate upon your life. That word mandate is very important. If the Lord tells you that I want you to open up, say, a business of what kind, of doing this, of an NPO, you've got the mandate upon you. And in that mandate, everything is included. The authority, the power, the provision, the ground, the ideas, the plans, the motivation, the strategy, everything is in that mandate. You need to understand that you came to earth in your identity with a mandate. And in your mandate, there is that energy, that passion to face the school of life that will throw you problems, that will resist you, because the school of life and all these problems are like, it's like the building inspector that's constantly there and knocking on the walls and see if this wall is really a solid wall, or is it a fake wall, or it's not a wall that's going to stand for what you may be building with. And if the thing falls apart, don't cry about it. Say thank you, Lord, because maybe let it fall apart now, because maybe in 3 years' time it falls down there. You lose lots more. The building inspector will be there constantly in life, and they will appear as problems and disappointments and opposition and all these things. You must embrace them. They're part of life. And if you can conquer them with the passion that's in you, you will find out that you can live anything that is in you. So start living passionate. Engage in finding your identity. Find the interest in you. Ask yourself, just start with, what do you love doing? Start doing it. Just start, do some investigation on it. I always ask people, tell me, what are you doing in terms of self-improvement, and at least every quarter, but maybe best is every month in your life? People are not spending on self-improvement. Self-improvement is finding out who are you and making this potential skill that at the end of the day produce success stories. You need self-improvement. You need some courses on whatever it is, business and relationships and personality profiles and whatever it may be. Do you have at least one of these self-improvement things at least every quarter in your life? Because if you do not have it, you will not get there, because it's not that the potential is not there, but the potential must become a skill. You cannot produce a success story without skill. And skill and potential are two different things. Potential need to be studied, need to be understood, need to be exercised till it becomes a skill. You don't just sit before a computer and Word is, you can type anything and everything is just working. You need to spend hours on it. The saying that you need to spend 10,000 hours before you can say that yourself you are a bit of a professional in something. Now, 10,000 hours is an 8-hour work week for 5 years. I believe I am a professional in property, because I've spent 20 years already in property. I know what's going on. I've got a success story, but it wasn't easy in the beginning. I had to learn the hard way. I had to draw in my passion. When things went wrong, I said, but what went wrong here? No one taught me the right thing. I had to learn it myself. And in the first 5 years, it's very difficult. You need lots of passion to go through the first 5 years. Yes, and if you can make it through the first 5 years, that's why they say most businesses close down in 3 to 5 years. They say most businesses will not get momentum before 3 or 5 years, because you are the business and you need to get your potential into skill. It's not that there are not opportunities on the outside. It's that you need 3 to 5 years to get the potential to become skilled and to know that you know how do you do this thing. We need time. We need 3 to 5 years. That's it. But listen, you can become a professional in more than one thing. You can learn a lot of things. You can learn it together. It doesn't say you must do it, but you're not clamped down on one thing on earth. You can do more than one thing. So what I want to say is that the field is open. You can get there. I'll not say very easily, but it is possible to get there. Everything nowadays is on the internet. Go and see people and start to exercise yourself in this whole thing. So I think I will settle down for that by just saying you have an identity, you have passion in you, everything is there. You are I would say stamped, you are qualified by the Lord. Don't look at your life as a happening and as an experiment and maybe one day my ship will arrive. Listen, your ship arrived already at the cross of Calvary. It has arrived. God is just waiting for you to live what is on the ship. The shipment is not coming. It's already there. It's in you. Get confidence about yourself. It's not that I am better than any other person on earth. I am not better than any other person. The fact that I am a property professional, just say I've got lots of hours in it. But you can also be a property professional. You can be a business professional. I am not a business professional. I'm not running business. I'm doing investment. But decide what you want to do and go into it and spend time and do not stop. Run on your passion and embrace the problems and the stuff that's coming and the disappointments. Embrace it and just go through it and write your test and get to the other side where you live the life that you have seen in yourself when you saw yourself in the first place. Thank you very much.